Mate. Look at that, man. It's dry. It's dry. Right, testing. I'm out in the field. The light is fading. I just wanted to say a couple of words about this, the Keen NXIS. Probably mispronouncing it, but shout out to them. They were kind enough to send me these. And third time I've used them, once was on a walk with my partner, and then second time I released a video a couple of weeks ago, which you might have seen. Gave them a bit of a test then, but today they've had a real test. We've gone up some pretty steep gradient, gone through some quite boggy patches, a couple of like streams and stuff, and no issues whatsoever. The water was covering pretty much up to the laces at one point, and nothing came through. The grip is really good. Had a couple of moments where, like, obviously stacked it, but not due to these really. A couple of quite steep sections going up and down, and never slipped on them at all. So I felt pretty safe, waterproof as mentioned, and comfortable. So I can't speak highly enough so far. I'll go into a few more details, but as a field test, using them right now and been using them earlier, so far so good. Comfortable, feels supportive. I do have my walking poles as well, but otherwise, yeah, I can't complain. I really can't complain. So far so good. Hello everyone, we're back in the house. So I wanted to just talk a little bit more in terms of the details around the Keen NIX or NXIS. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but the one that they kindly sent me. So I'll give a little bit more details around that, just to make it a little bit more interesting, just rather than talking about one boot. I'm going to compare it to this. This is the Salomon Gtx Ultra 3, I think it's called. I've used both of them quite a lot, especially the Salomon. I recently got sent the Keen and have a little bit of experience in that as well, so I can talk a little bit about both of them in quite a lot of detail as a user who's been using them for quite some time. First thing about this though is, and I won't go, this isn't the video where I'm going to go into a huge amount of detail about the Salomon. I'm just going to give you some kind of brief details, but because I've owned them both, I thought it'd be useful. It's got a little hole, in fact 2 holes. They're just starting to kind of to wear, and I've only had it for 2 years. I've done 3 long distance sort of multi-day hikes in them, and just a little bit disappointing that after only 2 years they've already started to go. But so that for me is not good. You can see how much wear they've had. Look, covered in dirt. I need to get better at cleaning these things. All right, first of all, in terms of the weight then, and I'm just going to be referring to my notes over to one side, so apologies if I'm not looking straight at you, but so it's 12.9 ounces or 365 grams is the weight of the Salomons, and very similar weight, 13.4 ounces or 381 grams for the Keens. So very similar. I like the kind of the shoe design, because I like to keep a bit more lightweight. Obviously there's some debate to be had around protection around the ankles versus boots, but I prefer to be a bit lighter weight on those sort of multi-day hikes, so I prefer the shoe, hence I've got the shoe in both versions. In terms of the price, so the Salomons, I think I actually paid about 75 for them. Looked online recently, they start from around £85, and these are £130 at the moment, so that is a huge difference, and maybe you'll get an understanding of why as we talk through. In terms of waterproof, the Salomons have Gore-Tex. These don't have a kind of a separate company that is, and I'm not going to talk in detail about Gore-Tex, but these are waterproof, and you'll have seen in some of the footage at the start that I took them through some streams and stuff, and no issues at all. And because of the Salomons, I've got the holes in that I mentioned earlier. They are starting to get water ingress through them, so these have come at the right time really, so really helpful. the color. So the Keens come in such a cool variety of colors. I'd say this one's a little bit more boring, to be honest. The blue and yellow version ones look really cool, and then the insole is like quite a cool yellow color, and that is removable. So you can see there. So you can kind of give that a wash and do whatever, but that's quite handy to be able to take that out and just kind of help the odor, really. And so the Salomons use this contour grip system, and both have a defined grip system. So it has sharp lugs that are made from a compound that focuses on adhesion. And with the Keens, they also have lugs, but they're multi-directional. So you see they'll go back one way in a different direction. And I found the grip was like incredible when I used them in the Peak District. And I've not had any issues with the Salomons either in terms of the grip. And again, there looks to be some kind of multi-directional sort of grip on there. The Keens use this all-terrain grip system. So it's rubber with deep lug pattern for superior traction on any trail, according to their website. One of the things I really like about the Salomons, in terms of the laces then, it has this quick lace system, and I thought, this is a little bit flimsy, but this has some kind of cordage. It's maybe Dyneema. I couldn't find the kind of that information online, but it is super strong. I thought it would be quite weak, and all you do is you just pull the cord, and it's just so easy. You know, when you're out there and you've got all your gear on you, and you want to kind of tighten your shoes, and it just makes everything a lot easier. The laces on the Keens are just the standard laces, nothing wrong with them at all. They don't come undone particularly, they're nice and thick and durable. But I do really like the lace system on the Salomons. So the Connectfit heel capture system, I'm just summarizing the information. So in terms of what that is, I've got a bit of camera wobble. Hopefully it's not too noisy, I'm just in the garden. Has a locked in feel, paired with EEN comfort heel control for Achilles padding and a true 360 best fit. Now, as I said, both very, very comfortable. And then again, the fit, they kind of have this branded fit thing. So it's interesting doing some research on both brands, is that they kind of have to almost label their fit, and that makes sense. It's kind of, you're going to be able to buy into it a bit more, and it makes you feel like they've done a bit more research. So the Salomon, they have something called the Sensifit, but essentially it cradles the foot from the midsole to the lacing system, providing a secure, snug and virtually customized fit all round the foot, and it does feel really, really comfortable. It feels like you're wearing slippers, especially when you first get them. And similarly with the Keens, obviously I wore the Salomons, they're getting towards sort of 2.5 years old now. Putting the Keens on for the first time again new, it just feels like you're putting your foot into a slipper. And obviously that you get that degradation after you've been using them for a long time. Then just in terms of the materials, rubber and textile, and the Keen has a bunch of mesh just on the top of it for kind of breathability, but ultimately it's rubber and textile. And then there's a PU insole, and I spoke about that briefly before on the Keen shoe. And just in terms of sustainability, Keen do have a Detox the Planet initiative, which I was keen to read about. And then Salomon, to be confirmed, I've not found anything on their site, but by all means check that out if that's something you're interested in. So just in a nutshell then, I mean, as I said, both fantastic shoes. It's the Keen NXIS or NXIS, I will learn to pronounce that, and the Salomon GTX Ultra 3. Really good boot, very, very comfortable. Love the laces, some wicked colours in this version also, and I really like the blue because it's just a bit different. I prefer the shoe over the boot. A bit disappointed about getting that kind of wear and tear in it already, but I guess I've got a good mileage out of it. Just looking at the grip now, that's kind of starting to go as well. I sometimes think these things would last 4 or 5 years, but probably gone are the days where these kind of things last like a huge amount of time. But this, first impressions, I've used it around 3 times now. You'll have seen the footage before. Needs a good clean, but it's really, really comfortable. They look great, I think. They really stand out in terms of the branding and all that kind of stuff. And so far so good. Waterproof, lightweight, probably a little bit on the expensive side, but obviously you can get discounts and all those kind of things if you look around. And I think I paid a really good price for the Salomons, around £70 as I mentioned when I first got them. So that is it in a nutshell. It's not super detailed, guys, but if you do want any more information, I can put the links to the websites below for each boot. And if you like the video, give it a like and do subscribe if some of you haven't already. That would really, really help me out. But otherwise, we'll see you on the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.